Folks, inflation is the highest it's been since the early 1980s. Post-pandemic fallouts and war zones scattered across Eastern Europe have put more pressure on the supply chains across the world than ever before, and the stock market is more volatile than it's been since the early 2000s. Now, a lot of people are speculating at this point that a recession could be inevitable, and it probably is, but here are 4 reasons why a recession could actually be good news for the real estate market. Number 1, historically speaking, real estate actually holds up very well during recessions. In fact, home values have actually appreciated during 3 of the last 5 US recessions, and the 2 that didn't, one was the recession in the early 90s where home prices dipped less than 2%, and the other was the 2008 housing crisis that actually was spurred from real estate specifically, where homeowners were lent money to buy houses they couldn't afford. But compared to typically negative returns in other markets during a downturn, that's what I call a silver lining. Number 2, the housing market over the last 2 years was not sustainable long term. When the supply of something gets that far behind the demand, it's a recipe for surging inflation and skyrocketing price points, which we now have. Supply and demand will start to return to normal levels, and a recession could be a key piece in restoring some normalcy to the real estate market and making it less chaotic to buy a home going forward. Believe me, it would be a good thing for things to start mellowing out a little bit. If things continued for the next 2 years like they had the last 2 years, we very well could be looking at a market crash. Number 3, buying and selling continues to happen during every single recession, and it can be done just as successfully as non-recessionary times. But typically, buyer and seller activity does go down a little bit during recessions as people wait to see how everything shakes out. As supply chain issues continue to get worked out, this should take some of the strain off of the housing shortage and allow builders to catch up a bit on the supply as they build more new houses. And last but not least, number 4, there will be better buying opportunities for the folks that have waited patiently up to this point. The buying market is going to slim down a bit with the rise of the interest rates, and that creates more opportunity for the buyers out there that are looking for their perfect house. Houses will still be selling like they always do no matter what's going on in the world, but a slight cooling off of the market can mean a more level playing field for buyers and sellers to get more of what they want out of a deal. So maybe your interest rate ends up being a little bit higher in the deal that you do lock in, but you should be able to find yourself a better deal along the way as a byproduct of that. Now folks, it's easy to get caught up in the headlines and the media, especially when there's so much going on in the world right now, but there's a silver lining to every story, and right now there's still a lot to be excited about in the real estate market. And if you have any questions about buying, selling, or investing in real estate in 2022, I would love to be your realtor. I'd love to help you out, even if it's just a question. Send it my way. I'd love to help make that process as smooth and successful as possible. My number's 502-500-6469, and I would be happy to help. So I'll talk to you all soon. Hope you have a good rest of the week.